You know the drill by now. Whenever there's a new app game for me to play, you know I'm probably gonna make a video talking about how they can improve their quality. So here are 10 ideas and issues for Rockman.EXE Dive. Also, as a side note, I went back and forth on making this video for a while. Not because I was worried that people wouldn't like my ideas, but I just wasn't sure if this was even worth doing. And I know I'm probably late to the party, but you know what they say, better late than never. Anyways, let's get started. Alright, let's address the big fat elephant in the room here. I want better voice acting in this game. Granted, it's better than Mega Man 8.
Hey, Bass! Why must I fight you? We are not enemies!
Shut up!
But this game would be a lot better if they didn't reuse Japanese voice clips. That's right, this game recycles a lot of Japanese voice clips from the games that had voice acting. For example, Rockman's lines are recycled from 11, while Roll and Blue's are recycled from Powered Up. And the characters who didn't have any voice lines simply remain muted, even if they appeared in anime. The only characters who have new voice lines are Rico, Eiko, Iris, and her alternate version. Now I can see this for two reasons. Story-wise, the characters that are pulled from the capsules or unlocked via memories are straight from their respective games from a specific point in time. For example, this Rockman is pulled from 11, as evident by the voice and his charge shot. Why he has the leaf shield from 2, I don't know. This is similar to Fire Emblem Heroes, where the characters that you summoned are pulled from a specific point in their respective games. Development-wise, I'm guessing this game didn't have a very big budget compared to Fire Emblem Heroes or even Genshin Impact. And granted, I don't know how much money this game makes compared to the other games I just listed off, but if money wasn't such a huge issue, having newly fresh recorded voice lines for both Japanese and English would go a long way to make the game more appealing. I'm fine with the recycled Japanese voice clips since I always view Rockman as a series that takes place in Japan, but I suspect that most English-speaking players might get tired of this sooner or later. Overall, I want this game to have new voice lines in both English and Japanese, so get those voice actors to reprise their role and record new dialogue. Oh, what's that? You can't get certain voice actors because they're either retired, dead, too busy, or part of some union? Then get new ones! That's what Fire Emblem Heroes did with their characters from games that didn't have voice acting or was only in Japanese. I'm sure a lot of players already have this issue, but I figured it's best that I present this to probably a better degree. One of the things that this game seems to be missing is life energy. Having these health pickups gave the player hope to keep pressing forward and not give up. I know Rockman.EXE is supposed to be a hard series, but even those games had life energy. If the stages had some life energy lying around, or if enemies could drop some randomly just like in the games, then getting 3 stars or just finishing the stages wouldn't be a waste of retries or even time itself. Do the devs expect us to use these retry chips, or even spend money to beat these stages quickly in order to progress? This is probably the most urgent issue I have, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me on this. I want the Gacha Pool to be fixed. When I installed this game onto my iPad, I expected to play through this game with good old classic Rockman, with just a few simple summons. But guess what? He's not in the pool at all. In fact, there are multiple characters and weapons missing from the Gacha Pool and even the roster itself. Rockman, Shooting Star Rockman, Forte, Rico, and Roll.EXE needs to be in the Gacha Pool. If this was a seasonal banner, that would be fine as I'm more willing to wait for their return. But these aren't seasonal units, these are regular characters. Also, it's pretty misleading and insulting that they would do this to Classic, since he's on the official website. He's not even an S-rank character, nor does he have anything broken in PvP. Why would they do this? Do the devs think that Classic is nothing compared to X? It probably must be, but I believe that Classic and X are the most profitable series that Capcom has to offer in terms of the Rockman franchise. How am I supposed to enjoy this game if I can't play as the characters I know and love so dearly? As of this recording, the characters I play the most is Rockman Volnutt and Roll, which is fine, but won't be enough to satisfy my Rockman hunger. I'm sure this is just a regional thing, as they're probably gonna be released somewhere in the future, but it's still concerning nonetheless. Also, I really wish that if I got a character or weapon memory, it should be available in the store. That way, it would make unlocking characters and weapons quicker than doing these long-ass requirements, like trying to increase your player level, or purchasing value packs and hoping for the best. There are lots of characters that could be added into the game. I have a list of some suggestions, but there are 3 that I want to talk about. First up is Nana from Command Mission. I can't believe that Cinnamon and Marino made the cut, but not Nana. What the heck? She's adorable! Why ignore her? Next on the list is Ashe from ZX Advent. I'm guessing that the reason why Wily was chosen instead of Vent is because of the same philosophy that has been used in this current era of gaming. And it's called waifu culture. So let's add Ashe into the mix with Wily. She's a badass and looks super hot in her mega armor. And finally, Meddy.EXE. Now when it comes to support characters, there is a serious lack of good recovery users. So having Meddy in the game would greatly help the lack of life energy that the game refuses to give us. Now I could go on and on about the characters I want, but those are the 3 in particular that stand out the most. And I sure hope to God that we get them somewhere in the future. When it comes to skins, there is a very small number of them. And yet there is so much potential to offer in a fan-servicey way. One that sticks out to me the most is Roll, because she has 2 other dresses that could be utilized, which is her dress from 1 and 11. I'm fine with 8, but I would like to see those dresses in the game, particularly 11, since it's the most current one. I will pay for that dress. And while we're on the subject of Roll's outfit, I really wish that the option for the original swimsuit Roll was still available. I get why they had to redesign her, but I prefer that version way more over the current one. Plus, let's be real here, Rockman.EXE is not a family-friendly game. If this was classic, that would make more sense. But it's not, and the original design being lost to history just makes me sad. So most of the bosses you encounter are from the X series. However, there are some bosses that are from other Rockman series, which does come as a bit of a surprise to me. One in particular being Drillman. Because of that, this brings up the potential of implementing any type of boss from any of the series into the game. And here are 3 that I would absolutely love to see implemented. First up is the Rockman Killers. Each of the 3 have a very distinct flavor that makes them stand out. Anchor having a Japanese theme, Punk being Inafune's favorite so much that he got a NetNavi counterpart, and Ballad being the most impactful. One of them, or all 3 of them, could be added, but if only one was to be chosen, then I want Anchor to be added, since he's my favorite. Next is Dr. Wily himself. I think either one of the Wily machines or Wily capsules would be a great idea for a boss fight. For a Wily machine, I think either 1 or 2 could be fine. Maybe even use Gamma from 3. But if a Wily capsule was to be chosen, it would obviously have to be 7, since it's the most insanely difficult one to beat. Plus, wouldn't it be kinda funny and cool seeing Zero beat up Dr. Wily? And finally, I want Ophiuchus Queen to be a boss. Now when it comes to Star Force representation, there is a serious lack of that. I know the games didn't sell well compared to Battle Network, but I still think it needs more representation. And Ophiuchus Queen sticks out to me the most since she's actually Luna transformed. And honestly, I don't think translating her attack to a platforming game might be that difficult. In fact, why not utilize some of her attacks from the anime? Heck, why not incorporate some of Snake Man's attacks? You know, aside from the predictable moving pattern that he has. I want more cards in this game, and there are still more characters and artwork that could be utilized. Also, just like the characters and weapons, some cards are missing from the roster, so hopefully they'll be added in sooner or later. I want better controller options. I find that I play way better on a controller than I do with a keyboard or even a touchscreen. I know there are controllers that can work with mobile devices, but chances are that it probably might be too difficult to program. This was probably really pointless to talk about, but I figured I'd at least mention this. I want better customizational and organizational options for my profile and collection. I want to be able to display the characters, weapons, and cards that I use the most. I want more emojis. The amount of emojis feels somewhat lacking, but there is so much more that could be utilized. Aside from the 8-bit and 16-bit sprites, why not utilize the mugshots from Battle Network and Star Force? I mean, come on, they're pretty nice to look at, and they don't need to be animated. Just utilize the mugshots that look the best. And those are my 10 ideas and issues for Rockman.EXE doc. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I shall see you all next time on Ramen Train. Goodbye.